Morning, Raptors Freak. Alexi Odds here. Tuesday morning, so it's time for Raptors Freak Classic Jurassic Tuesday Trivia today. That's right, and today we're celebrating birthday boy from Sunday. It was DeMar DeRozan's birthday this week, and that's who the subject of the trivia is today. So if you know DeMar DeRozan, you'll probably do pretty good today. Now, as per usual, we already have a good number of people here, which is great. I love seeing it. We're going to talk a little bit about the news and notes of the day before we start, just to give people a chance to get in here for the start of the questions. All right. Listen, guys, my dumpster fire rankings, I can't put Brooklyn any higher on them. Like, this is insane what's happening with Brooklyn. Kevin Durant is not very smart. Let me just put it this way. He's not a very intelligent man in some ways. He's completely handcuffed his franchise from getting any kind of value for him. And now he's put them in an impossible position because he's telling the owner, Joe Tsai, that he needs to choose between him or the GM and the coach. I was telling Adriana that this is the equivalent of basically Pascal Siakam coming to Larry Tannenbaum and saying, you need to either fire Bobby Webster and Nick Nurse or I need to be traded. And it's just insane because doing this has kind of devalued him. Like, they know the Nets are in trouble to move him. That, like, they may be coming back to us and asking for just the same thing we were giving them a month ago. And we're going to be like, no, it's even lower now because Durant has shown he's taken all their leverage away. Let's just put it that way. He's taken all of their bargaining leverage away. And Joe Tsai has come out on Twitter now last night and said he sides with the management. He sides with Sean Marks and Steve Nash, and he's not siding with Kevin on this. So what is this going to be? What is this going to mean? This is going to mean this is the biggest freaking dumpster fire going into a season I've seen in a long time. Like, they were already a really bad dumpster fire last year. It's not going to change with Kyrie as far as like his vax status and things like that. They already just announced that all the players that aren't vaccinated cannot come to Canada this year for games. So that's a huge piece of news. People like Thibault and Kyrie Irving will not be coming to Toronto to play in front of us. If you're fans of any unvaxxed players, sorry, Raptors fans, you won't see them in the Scotiabank Arena this year. So Kyrie still has his circus involved in the Brooklyn Nets. And Kevin's is a whole other animal at this point. Like, they are so public and out about all this that this is just not good for them. There's nothing good's going to happen for Brooklyn from any of this. I'm just going to say that. And if I was Masai Ujiri, I would stay as far away from this dumpster fire at this point. That, look, if Kevin's going to do this kind of shit on the Nets, he will do it on any team. Trust me. And it may be better to just completely avoid any kind of dumpster fire like that. And I don't even want to get into the Ben Simmons stuff. Like, there's more news. I know this was kind of released before, but it's really kind of shapes what we're seeing in Brooklyn right now. In the middle of the playoffs against the Nets and the Celtics in the first round, when the Nets were getting swept out, before Game 4, there's a group chat the Nets had. And basically, they were in there asking Ben Simmons, when are you going to come back and play and help us? They were in the chat talking to him. And when they asked him that, he didn't answer them. He didn't say anything. He just left the group chat. Now, anybody who's done Facebook group chats or texting group chats or something like that, what does that tell you? When you're in a group chat and somebody just leaves, they get asked a question and they just leave. Well, Kevin, right after this, said, shaking my motherfucking head, this is who I got to play with, is what he said in the chat after that. And this has set the tone with the relationship between Ben Simmons and Kevin Durant to this day, that he hates Ben Simmons. He thinks he's a loser. He doesn't want to have anything to do with him. You can tell this is part of the problem with the Nets, that he is not interested in playing with Ben Simmons. And Ben Simmons is a problem for their team also. So, oh my gosh, that Nets fan who came in here a couple weeks ago and was like bragging about having the best starting lineup in the NBA, you're fucking crazy. You have the best dumpster fire in the NBA right now, Nets, and it's not even close. Like, I think the Lakers look kind of healthy in comparison to what's going on with you guys at this point, and that's crazy to say. And stuff like that. Another dumpster fire that's interesting this week that kind of broke out, and this is for the Hawks. is DeJounte. Yeah, this is crazy. Like, this is a really interesting, weird development with DeJounte Murray that's happened in the last week with Paulo Banchero. There's a feud, and there's a real, like, they don't like each other at this point. Like, DeJounte definitely doesn't like Paulo, and Paulo's kind of like, hey, I'm just a young guy. I'm coming in. Well, that dude, he doesn't like you. And there already is a huge beef, like a Drew League. There's some pushing around and things like that. There's a lot of talking online. And it made me think about things and wonder why DeJounte ended up in Atlanta this summer. And it made sense. Listen, it could be that this young man has always been kind of a knucklehead on the down low, that the Spurs drafted him and brought him into their team. And Coach Pop is really good at handling personalities and having strict rules about the team manage, like how they act and what they do. And I really do think that Coach Pop had DeJounte under control for this kind of stuff. But maybe it was hard to do. Maybe underlying, there were a lot of things that Coach Pop didn't like about DeJounte's personality. And that was why they were so quick and easy to, like, yeah, we'll trade you to Atlanta. Sure. Because I was mystified by this. I was like, San Antonio, this is your all-star. This is your best young player. This is your badass. I know maybe you're tanking to get Victor, but this is weird. Why are you trading DeJounte Murray? Now I know why. Because he's a knucklehead. He's crazy. He's a psycho. He is literally a psycho. I think DeJounte Murray is a psychopath. And out of the leadership of Coach Popovich, kind of keeping him in tow, saying like, no, this isn't healthy. This isn't good. He's gone buck wild since he's left on social media and saying things and being crazy, saying all kinds of crazy stuff. He acts like he's a gangster on his Twitter. And he's one of the people that Steven Jackson's talking to is like, dude, don't act like something you're not really at, being a fake gangbanger and stuff like that. So it really kind of makes sense now why the Spurs traded Murray, because he's a knucklehead. And this whole feud with him and Paulo is going to be very interesting this year. That's going to be a whole storyline, because listen, Atlanta and Orlando are in the same division, just like we're in the same division with Boston and Philadelphia. They are going to play each other a lot this year. And that's going to be a matchup. That's going to be a grudge match now, Atlanta versus Orlando. I never thought that matchup could be that interesting in some ways because of these two teams. But it's going to be very interesting now because of this really weird feud that just popped up in the last couple of days. Oh, my gosh. All right, let's see what you guys are saying this morning. David, good morning to see you. Yeah, DeRozan. I figured we should do DeRozan because it was DeMar DeRozan's birthday on Sunday. And you know what? Listen, I love DeMar so much. I'm going to tell you guys something. Doing my research for this trivia yesterday, I learned a lot of new things about DeMar DeRozan that I did not know. Some of it I don't really want to talk about because it's none of my business to talk about here. But I will say something. It cannot be reiterated more and more that DeMar DeRozan is the man who gave the ultimate sacrifice to help us win a championship. And that I will always be forever indebted to him and his tragedy and his suffering that he gave. Like, in some ways, this is like Jesus kind of level stuff. Like, he died for our sins kind of stuff. I know that may be sacrilegious to some of y'all and get you upset. But in some ways, to me, this really is kind of how I look at DeMar DeRozan and his place in the history of the Raptors. That he was a sacrifice, and he was a real one. To this day, he's so in love with Toronto and his fans and the people. He, even though we hurt him, and he got seriously hurt from what happened with us and him. So there's so much respect. I cannot stand to hear any Raptor fans diss DeMar DeRozan. Sure, go ahead and talk about his failings and not being able to get certain point in the playoffs or certain things like that. But do not diss that man in general, because he is, to me, I have so much reverence and respect for him. And this is different than people like Bosch and Vince Carter. This is a whole different kind of thing. So I don't tolerate it. I just don't. You guys don't just warning you guys. Don't talk about Donald Trump becoming president again, and don't diss DeMar DeRozan to me, because, man, he gave so much. Leslie's here. Good to see Leslie. She's saying Steve Nash is going to get fired. I hate this. Raptors fans, we don't want this. I don't think Steve Nash is going to get fired. I'm serious. I don't think he will. I think it's not going to work out for Kevin in any kind of way. I think he's not going to get moved because he's hamstrung the Nets to make any kind of good move for them. They're not going to get any kind of return for him at this point. And the Joe Tsai has sided with his staff, as he put it on Twitter, that he sides with his staff. He believes in Sean Marks and Steve Nash. It's crazy because Durant has all these comments from just a couple years ago, not even that long ago, praising both the gentlemen, praising Sean Marks, praising Steve Nash. And now he's turning around, twisting a knife in their back and stuff like that. So, I mean, I can't necessarily say that he's wrong, though. In some ways, I thought about this. Like, I love Steve Nash. Steve Nash is one of the greatest Canadian players to ever play in the NBA. He's a two-time MVP. He's somebody I've met in real life and know that he's a really good, genuine, quality guy who's very, very cool. And, I love him as a player, but I don't know if he's a good coach. And I said this when they hired him. It's like, I love Steve. I think he's a great guy, but I don't know if he's going to be a good coach. And this may be part of it, that Kevin may be partly right, but he's going about it the whole wrong way. And Sean Marks, too, he hasn't totally shown the aptitude with the deals that he made and stuff like that. Like, this was really a bad move to do this big three. This has been a complete disaster, a complete failure, having a big three of Kyrie, Kevin, and James Harden. So it's all that kind of stuff all together. But I think Nash is safe. I really do. I think that they'll get rid of Durant before they'll get rid of Nash. So Tom Duke's here. Of course, I'm hoping for Steve Nash. Durant is incredible, and Nets are even further up on the dumpster fire list. They can't go any higher, Tom. I already bumped them up to number one. And it's like, maybe I'll make a bunch of blank spaces and extend it down the other way. And they could be like number one, and the next team is number 10 on the list. It's just how much more of a dumpster fire they are in some ways. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Click has got heart for DeMar. Yes, that is how all of us should be. Respect this man. Understand this man's struggle. Understand this man. Like, listen, oh my gosh, there's so much I can say. I don't want to give away any of the answers, so I won't talk about DeMar fully right now. But we will be playing very soon. I'm going to read the rest of your comments, and then we'll start the trivia. Leslie saying, we need to keep our heads down and our spirits up. Ignore KD trade. No drama in Toronto. Yeah, I love how she spelled it correctly, too. Toronto. Yeah, no, this is true. Like, this is really is the latest Drake album. Honestly, never mind. Seriously, we need to say that very emphatically. Like, if that phone is ringing and it's Sean Marks, don't pick it up, Bobby Webster. Just let it ring. We do not want to get involved in this. If they want to have trade talks with us, I mean, forget your garbage about wanting Scotty Barnes. You just want something for Kevin Durant at this point from somebody. And all those deals you were looking at about a month ago, they're not probably there anymore. And you're probably wishing you had jumped on some of them at that point. Oh, my gosh. Shane Waters saying, this makes sense as to what you were saying when we met up, Tom. Durant, in an interview, was saying he wanted to lose in the playoffs. It was to put Nash on the hot seat. This is crazy. So you think that on purpose, Kevin Durant didn't care and he wanted to get him fired by failing on purpose. Wow. Shane and Tom are having some interesting Raptors Freak think tanks in person over there, talking about this kind of stuff. I love it. I love that you guys are hanging out and talking about that stuff and then bringing it here and talking about it. That could be some truth to that. The teams getting swept don't happen very often, especially teams with that kind of caliber, good players. They should have won at least one, but they did get swept. And maybe that was for how it looked and how it might affect the coach's job. That's very interesting. That's a horrible thing to do. This is what I'm saying. Whether it's the Philadelphia 76ers losing on purpose to get high draft picks, whether it's Kevin Durant losing on purpose to make Steve Nash look bad, whether it's Vince Carter not playing well on purpose because he didn't like being in Toronto. It's all fucking negative, wrong, and bad, and a bad reflection on the players involved in this kind of stuff. It's not going to make the people look bad. It makes you look bad, Kevin. It makes you look bad, Vince. It could be Rob Babcock's fault. It could be Steve Nash's fault, but you play for them and you make the money playing for them. And that, you do your job, you're untouchable. You can't be fucked with. But if they, that's the thing. These guys don't realize you put yourself at a bad level when you bring your play down and you don't try and you do this kind of shit. It's the same thing. If Kevin did this to Steve Nash on purpose, it's the same shit as what Vince Carter did in his last year in Toronto. Same kind of shit. All right, let's see. Tom Duke is saying, for sure, I miss DeMar DeRozan. Also, KD has nothing to do with the Raptors organization and never will. Maybe it's just that he was a fan of the team when he was very young. I don't know. Who knows? We don't know. But I think at this point, he might be on my list of knuckleheads that I do not want in Toronto. I think that Tom is right. That maybe a month ago, I would have entertained the thought of Kevin Durant being on the Raptors and being like, this could be a good fit. But at this point, I'm kind of like, no, I have a no knucklehead rule. Kyrie's on that list. Russell Westbrook's on that list. Certain players, even LeBron's on that list. I would never want LeBron to come to Toronto. And some people would be like, well, you don't want LeBron James on the Raptors? I'm like, yeah, I don't. I don't, because I realize everything that comes with him and stuff like that. So James Harden is more coming off of the list that is banned from coming to here to being like, you know what, James Harden could be a good player on the Raptors because it looks like he's a team player all of a sudden. So it's weird how that's happening right now. It's like Kevin Durant is moving from the team, the kind of guy I don't want on my team, and James Harden is moving towards that. It's crazy. It's such a flip. Such a flip. All right, let's see. Leslie saying, I agree, Tom. DeMar and Kyle were so happy to raise their families and work hard in Toronto. He loved this city. DeMar was so loyal to the city, and we did him wrong. We so did him wrong. It's one of the biggest, like, I feel bad. I feel icky about it. And I didn't even decide it or did the thing. I feel bad as a proxy, as a big fan of the Raptors in the nation. Like I wrote things that DeMar apologizing to him after it happened. I told him I don't agree with Masai doing you wrong like this. And I've even said, like I said on this channel a couple times this year, if we could make it where DeMar had gotten that championship instead of Kawhi, I would do that in a heartbeat. Because, and to me, DeMar DeRozan deserved that ring more than Kawhi Leonard did in some ways. I know Kawhi was the one who pulled us there and took us there and stuff like that. But, man, it really is this way. Oh, my gosh. All right, let's see. Michael Borland is here. Good to see you, Michael. Every morning, 9:30 a.m., the FBI did the boxing one at Mar-a-Lago. I love this joke. I think this is hilarious. This is the brand of humor I can get behind with this. Yeah, this is really good. What the FBI did yesterday. This bodes well for some sort of indictment from the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, or whoever. They need to do something about this. They need to come and get this dude and put him in jail. And the funny thing is, they go and raid Mar-a-Lago to get evidence and stuff like that. They don't know what this is pertaining to. There's so many fucking investigations into Trump and his criminal activities that we don't even know exactly why they were there and what they were raiding him for. It could be a numerous one. It could be, I don't even know if you can count it on one hand what they could have been there for. But yeah. And Raymond's saying, hey, I said I would never talk politics again. I appreciate that, Raymond Jacob. It's just that one statement that really sets me off. Oh my gosh. And Raymond, once again, I'm sorry for putting you down that day. That was not warranted in any kind of way, even though I lost my temper. That's not a reason. Evelyn's saying, happy to know that DeMar DeRozan and me have the same birthday. That's right. It was Granny Evelyn's birthday on Sunday. I hope you had a fantastic birthday, Granny Evelyn. And yeah, you and DeMar have the same birthday. Your birthday twins. Baby Candace probably had such a good time at your birthday party. I'll bet you Baby Candace had some cake. I'll bet you she did. Tom Duke saying, happy belated birthday to Granny Evelyn. I say it to myself. August birthdays are the best, aren't they, Granny Evelyn? The August birthdays. Scotty Barnes, DeMar DeRozan, Barack Obama, Granny Evelyn, and myself. August birthdays. Let's do it. Yeah. Lolita saying, much respect to DeMar. He really carried the franchise when Bosch left with Lowry. Happy birthday, DeMar and Evelyn. Yes. It really is true. Like, listen, we give a lot of credit to Kyle. Kyle is the greatest Raptor of all time, but DeMar is a huge partner in building the culture here in the city. The loyalty that DeMar had for this city carries over into Fred VanVleet. The loyalty and the hard work that he had carries over in Pascal Siakam. That these men played with DeMar on the team, and they know him, they understand him. He was one of the mentors and people that shaped these young guys. And this is important. We thought about this more and more this summer when we think about things like how people like Jalen Rose shaped young players on the Raptors when he played here, or how Vince shaped Chris Bosh in his young years here and stuff like that. That's the thing. They broke that cycle of superstars being here, playing here, not totally having their heart here, to becoming ones that were real ones, loyal ones that wanted to be here, ones that wanted to build a winning culture, ones that wanted to get further and further in the playoffs. DeMar and Kyle. That's who they were. And stuff like that. So good, so good. Top saying, I'm confused. Didn't KD and Kyrie want Nash as their head coach? Yeah, yeah. Kevin Durant said something about working with Steve Nash when he was on the Golden State Warriors, because he did a little bit of like extra coaching for Steve Kerr at that time. He wasn't a head coach or anything. He was being like a specialty coach, and he came and worked with the Warriors when KD was still over there. And so he knew Nash and working with him. In fact, he was one of the people that vouched for Steve Nash to have the job. Oh my gosh. Well, that's just Kevin, man. Kevin is a snake. Let's just put it that way. That's he earns his nickname in different ways. He's earning it again right now. He's being a snake. All right, y'all. I've run through the comments and I have the questions here. Get ready. 25 points each as per usual. Today's Classic Jurassic Raptor Freak Trivia is DeMar DeRozan, the second greatest Raptor of all time. Number 2 on my list, baby, is Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, number 1 and 2 greatest Raptors of all time. Always will be, for at least for right now, till one of these other guys comes and takes more accolades and things like that. People like Scotty Barnes. Yeah. All right, let's see. First question, guys. You guys are ready? Whoever can type it in first will get the points. If it is something that is an extended answer that needs maybe a state or a last name and a first name, please put as much information in to be as specific as possible, just so we can say you got it for sure and stuff like that. Evelyn's saying thank you. Oh, I remember that you said it was your birthday this weekend. I wish I'd seen you on the stream, but I don't think you were there. It's okay. We wish you a happy birthday now, Evelyn, and I hope it was such a lovely day. Such a lovely day. All right, first question. Who's going to get this one? What is DeMar DeRozan's middle name? What is DeMar DeRozan's middle name, guys? There's a little alliteration to his name in a lot of ways. Darnell. David's on it. I think he's already looked. Yeah, it's Darnell. David S is in on it. That's good job, David. So it's DeMar Darnell DeRozan. DDD. Triple D. Triple D. All right, let's see. Second question. What city was DeMar DeRozan born in? What city was DeMar DeRozan born in? David's got it. It's Compton. Yeah, David's in there right before you, Raymond. It's very close. But just before you, I know you got the California, but really there's only one Compton. Come on. I'm not going to think that there's a Compton in any other state. Compton is in California. I know that. I know that. All right, next question. What is the mascot of DeMar DeRozan's university alma mater? What was the mascot of the university that DeMar DeRozan attended in his collegiate years? A Trojan. Yes, David S. is really sharp today, guys. David S. is really sharp. He's coming for blood. He's very serious. This I have opinions guy did not show up, and David S. is just, yeah. He's like, you know what? This dude didn't show up. He came ready to play this opinion guy, and this opinion guy just did not show up. So it is what it is. Oh well. All right. Question 4. How many times has DeMar DeRozan played in the All-Star game in his whole career? How many times has he made the All-Star team? This is crazy. All right, David's really on it. Holy crap. 5 times. David knows. He's been on the All-Star team 5 times. That is exactly right. It seems like it should be more. But DeMar's one of these guys, and this is interesting. Like when I was doing my research yesterday, he's talking to Kobe Bryant. Kobe told DeMar, he said, just be true to yourself. Be who you are and do what you do, and you're going to be great no matter what. And one of the things about DeMar that's interesting is he's not about his own like accolades. Like he doesn't give a shit if he makes the All-Star team every year. He's all about just the work. In fact, that's one of the things that Coach Popovich loves about DeMar DeRozan so much is that it doesn't matter. Like he just cares about, he finds his joy in the work, playing and being out on the court and putting in the work on the court and stuff like that. DeMar is different than the average NBA player in a couple different ways, whether it's his loyalty, the way he looks at the game and what it is for him and stuff like that. So yeah, very interesting stuff. And I think he should have been on more than 5 All-Star teams. He's been slighted in different ways, whether it was here with the Raptors, he was slighted from getting on All-Star games. He was also slighted in San Antonio. He should have been an All-Star while he was there too. He never was when he was a Spur. So, all right, let's keep going. What number in the draft was DeMar DeRozan selected by the Raptors? What number in the draft? David, bam, bam. He might have that already. He's like, he kind of thinks he knows what the next question is going to be, probably. And he can put it in there. These are the easier questions, these ones right now. They're going to get harder for sure. All right. Next question, 2 answers, guys. So maybe you can get one of the answers quicker than David gets in there. What 2 NBA players won the dunk contest that DeMar DeRozan competed in? He did not win either one of the contests he was in. He was very close in both of them. In fact, I think he should have won one of them in particular. He was the better dunker, but he didn't. David's got the first one. Nate Robinson is the first one. That's right, David. Are you trying to go clean sweep today? Oh my gosh. If you did that, that would be a first time thing. Who's the second player that won the other dunk contest that DeMar DeRozan was in? David's being nice, I think, and he's not writing in the next one. Maybe give another person a chance. Shane Waters thinks it's Zach LaVine. No, it's not Zach LaVine. He's a little later. Okay, David, but I want the first name. I don't want just the last name, because there's a couple of people with that last name. There's a lot of people with that last name. We have a head coach that's a doctor. Or not a head coach. We have a coach that's a doctor who's on there. Yeah, okay. Blake Griffin. That's right. Blake Griffin won off of dunking over a Kia, and it was a gimmick dunk. It was stupid, and he shouldn't have won for that. In fact, to me, the Blake Griffin win of the dunk contest smacks of a car commercial. That's really all it was they wanted to make a Kia commercial. And the DeMar had much better dunks than Blake Griffin that year. That he should have won that contest just because stupid ass Blake jumped over a car. So dumb. I hated that. It made me mad. It really did. I felt outright anger about that because I felt like DeMar got robbed. He should have been the dunk champion that year. All right, next question, guys. This may not be as easy. What is the name of DeMar's dad who passed away in 2021 and the name of his son who was born in 2021? What, they have the same name. In fact, well, obviously he named his son after his father. So what is the name of his father and his son? Born in 2021 and passed in 2021. David's on it. He is on it. It's Frank. That's right. Man, you are going for a clean sweep, maybe. But yeah, Frank is his son's name is Frankie DeRozan. Frankie. Hey, there's little Frankie. Yeah. DeMar actually has 4 daughters and a son. Just so you guys know, he has 4 daughters. One of his daughters is very young. Also, he has a very young son who's just 2 years old, and then he has a very young daughter, and then he has 3 older daughters. So yeah, that's how many kids he's got. He's got 5 kids, 4 daughters, and a son. There you go. Frankie, little Frankie. He wanted a son real bad, and he finally got a son in 2021. Frankie. All right, let's go. What was the reason DeMar went to the NBA after 1 year at USC? Why did he only do 1 year in university to go to the NBA right away after just 1 season at USC? What was the reasoning behind it? What was the impetus? The thing that pushed him to go into the NBA earlier? What was it? Does anybody know? This is a deep question. Maybe not the easiest. Okay, David got it right away. Yeah, it's to take care of his mother. His mother has been dealing with certain things for a while, and he wanted the ability to be there for her at home more often, and also financially to be able to give her the things that she needs to live a more comfortable life. And she is still very much alive and very much big part of his life. So whatever he did at the beginning of his career has done a good job to help take care of her and keep her healthy and happy and in good shape and stuff like that. It's really good. I'm really happy about that. Because listen, DeMar has had so much tragedy in his life. You know, he grew up in Compton and he was in the middle of a war zone. He was in the middle of all that. He has two of his mother's brothers were killed in gang violence. They weren't even in gangs. They were shot and died. And this shaped him. His best friend in high school was murdered while they were in high school because of gang violence. So this stuff has very much touched DeMar DeRozan's life and stuff like that. There have been some tragedies. Let's just put it that way. All right. And there's a reason why he fights with depression, stuff like that. All right, let's keep going. What is DeMar's nickname, guys? What is the nickname? The main nickname, the nickname that the guys on the court would call him, the one that I use it myself. Debo, that's right. David, you really are being real sharp today. Holy crap. Very OP. He's very OP today. You almost got there. It's Raymond Jacob. I don't know what to do. I think that David he's in Liberty Village. You're in downtown. So maybe you are closer, but I don't know how the internet works. Maybe it isn't closer because I don't know. Anyway. All right. This is an interesting question, and we'll have to see if you guys get this one. What current Raptor was in the deal between Chicago and San Antonio when DeMar got traded to Chicago from San Antonio? What current Raptor, what player on the Raptors right now was a part of that deal that sent DeMar DeRozan to Chicago from San Antonio? That, you can kind of figure it out from logic and stuff like that. But there is a Raptor. Yep, David's got it. Thad Young. Thad Young was actually traded from the Bulls to the Spurs in exchange for DeMar DeRozan, and that Thad Young then was traded from the Spurs to us for Goran Dragic. Yeah. David, I might have to just pre-write your name in here. Some of these things. But yeah, Thad Young's the answer to that question. All right, next one. This is a number one. So you guys get in there, put your numbers in. You may be able to get this before David because he's very overpowering right now. Under his contract right now, DeMar DeRozan, how much money will he have made total in his career when this contract that he's on currently finishes up? What amount of money will he have amassed over his whole entire career in earnings? Let's see what number you guys put out there and keep guessing. Price is Right question. Raymond Jacob, where's your one? You put that number in, I'll tell you which one it is. 100 million? No, it's a little low for it. This is good. I could say high-low, and that may be the way you guys can get it. 450 million. Wow, that's crazy, Click. That's a little high. David says 200.5 million. That's actually what he's earned already. I'm talking about what he's going to earn by the end of this contract. He has 2 more years on his contract, so we're going to have to see. But you're close, David. You're the closest. Raymond says 90 million. No. 80. No. Those are too low. Click's laughing. Raymond says 70 million. See, you're going too low. I'm saying it's higher than that. Let's just say it's lower than Click's answer, and it's higher than everybody else's. Tom Duke says 90. No. Click 85. David says 281. No, that's not right. It's too high. Click says 98 million. No. Shane Waters is the closest so far. 265 million is the closest. Raymond Jacobs not 300 million. That's too high. So let's see. You guys are getting closer. 265 is the closest answer so far. 275 is too high. 280 is too high. 285 is too high. You guys are going in the wrong direction. 230 is too low. It's too low. 260 is too high. 270, 260, 278. I feel like an auctioneer. 247, Clicks the closest. 250, Raymond Jacob. Bam, bam, bam. Ding, 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 ding. Raymond Jacob getting on the board. $250 million is what DeMar DeRozan will have earned after this year and next year. In his career, he's earned $200 million, so he's getting $50 million over the next 2 seasons. He's gonna get $25 million this year and $25 million next year. So it's $250 million. Raymond Jacob, stopping the streak. Raymond Jacob, good job, man. Yeah, that was good. Yeah. What the hell? Oh my God, good job. That was awesome. I like that. That's fun. That's why I want to mix up the questions. They're different type of questions. You know that they're not all just going to be from the Wikipedia, David. You know I did deep research. I found the other stuff too. All right, here we go. This is a very interesting one. I don't know who's going to get this one, but this is fun. Which Chicago sports legend's ex-wife did DeMar DeRozan buy his house from? The one that he lives in Chicago. He has bought a house from the ex-wife of a Chicago sports legend and is currently living in her house. Which sports legend am I talking about? And, I don't think you'll know the wife, but maybe. Scottie Pippen's a good answer, but it's wrong. Raymond Jacobs. Scottie Pippen is a good answer. David's got it. It's Michael Jordan. It's basically Michael Jordan. DeMar DeRozan lives in Juanita's house. Juanita Jordan, the ex-wife of Michael Jordan, her house was bought by DeMar DeRozan, and that's where he lives at this point. So David's back on the board again. That one, it is Juanita Jordan, Michael Jordan's ex. So there's a little fun fact for you. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I thought if I didn't say which sport, it would be easier. But of course, you guys are going to think the Bulls and Pippen and Jordan. So hoping you might say like Ernie Banks or something like that. That would have been cool. If you said Ernie Banks, Mr. Cub. Yeah, he's living in the ex-wife of Ernie Banks. I don't know. You know what? Listen, you may really like DeMar. You may have done a little bit of a touch-up study before. You may have some certain pages open right now, and it's really easy to find it real quick. But David, it's fine. Whatever you're doing is okay. It's just I am the kind of guy that will, if somebody's a juggernaut and they're too much running away with things, I will find ways to slow them down. You can ask G. So you be too overpowering, I will figure out ways to make it more competitive by the end of the season. So we'll have to see. But you're doing good. You're doing great. Actually, I'm really proud of you. All right, next question. This one's a cool one. I didn't know this one either, and this is going to be something that's going to be an eye opener to some people, I think. Which Chicago Bull played with DeMar DeRozan at USC, and he is the reason why DeMar DeRozan signed with the Chicago Bulls and is on the Bulls currently right now. One of his teammates on the Bulls played with him at USC, and he is the one who recruited DeMar to come and play for Chicago. That when the plans to go play with LeBron in LA on the Lakers didn't work out, this plan came up because this friend suggested this, and he's the reason why DeMar is on the Bulls. And I didn't know this until yesterday. This was really fascinating to me and tells me a lot about why the Bulls are the way they are with things. It is Vucevic. Yeah, Tom Duke is right. It is Nikola Vucevic. Nikola Vucevic played at USC for 1 year with DeMar DeRozan. And that made me like, holy crap, Vucevic has been in the league as long as DeMar DeRozan. I was like, yeah, he has. You look at how long Nikola Vucevic has been in the league. He spent a lot of time in Orlando. It's crazy. I didn't even think I thought he was a younger player than that, but it's Vucevic. Yeah. He was the one who said, hey, DeMar, why don't you come play with us in Chicago? And he's like, you know what? I think I might do that, Vooch. So that really blew me away. I didn't realize that was the reason why DeMar is in Chicago. It's because Nikola Vucevic recruited him. There you go. All right, Tom Duke on the board today. Always good to see Tom get a question. He always does somewhere in there. He's a real competitor. Watch out for Tom this year. I have good feelings about Tom doing big things in trivia at some level. It's like he's going to be in there fighting the fight. All right, next question. We got 4 more to go. What Olympics did DeMar win an Olympic gold medal? I want the city and the year. What Olympics did DeMar win his gold medal at? And you tell me the year and the city where the Olympics were that year, and you will get these points. It's not 225. You got to put them together. 2020 London. That's a good guess, Omari, but it's not right. Thanks for the sub, and I'm glad to see you here. Tom's got it. It's 2016 Rio de Janeiro. Tom's on it all of a sudden again. That's right, Tom Duke. And I believe that Kyle Lowry won a gold medal that year also with his friend DeMar DeRozan. That's so awesome. I love that these guys are Olympic gold medalists. That's a big accomplishment. The basketball players that get gold medals in their career somewhere, somehow from the Olympics, it is a big deal. It is. Because, like, listen, the way that the competition in the world is getting better and better. Canada is becoming a power. There's bigger, better teams around the world. That it's not always a given that the U.S. is just going to dominate and win the medals. In fact, we've seen the U.S. get bronzes at times and stuff like that. So it's really a big deal that they took care of things and won it in 2016. So, all right, next one. This is a question like the one with Bosch last week. What 2 issues is DeMar DeRozan an advocate for? There are 2 major issues that DeMar DeRozan cares very strongly about, and he does a lot of work in communities and things to help get awareness of. Raymond Jacobs got the first one. It's lupus. And Omari's got the other one, depression stigma, the stigma about depression. Very, very good stuff. Okay, so Raymond's got lupus. I'll put Raymond in there. And Omari, you're on the board. You've got your first points and Raptor Freak Trivia for the season. It's a long climb, sir. I'm going to tell you right now. We just started the season, so there's a lot of time for you to get on the boards. You show up every Tuesday and play every week. You will get these points, and by the end of the next season, when we crown a new Larry O'Brien champion in the NBA, that's when we'll give the next award. And the award for this season, just so you know what you're playing for, is this knockoff Vince Carter bobblehead still in the box. This is the prize for winning the Raptor Freak Trivia this season. You're not playing for nothing. There's actually is a prize. And I don't know what this is worth. I don't know how many Mr. Big Vince Carter bobbleheads there are in this world. They're out there and stuff like that. Awesome. I appreciate you're digging this, man. Yeah, this is really important what happened like with DeMar. He has actually really done a really big service for all men in the world, because he is destigmatizing having feelings and getting depressed and having issues and stuff like that. It's such a huge thing and so important. And I'm so proud of him for it. And he will always be linked to breaking through for this. And specifically, in some ways, like for the African American community and African American men, it's very been hard for them to be involved in talking about depression and things that people may go through naturally and stuff like that. So he's done such a huge service. Once again, this is another reason to be very admirable towards DeMar DeRozan is the work he's done with decreasing the stigma of depression is huge. It's huge. It even transcends basketball. It transcends sports. This is about just everybody in some ways. And I'm so proud of him. So proud of him for doing that. Raymond saying, nah, Debo, I was also looking up his skin condition and stuff like that. I don't know what you and Tom were talking about there. Tom erased it. All right, next two questions are fun. They're kind of like the last couple of weeks where they're kind of entertainment questions. So be ready on this. Listen, this is interesting. And this one, I don't know if you guys will know real quick right off the bat. What movie star in an interview on television was talking about his battles with depression was the person that inspired DeMar to start speaking out about his depression? He was watching TV and he was watching a late night TV talk show and he heard this person talk about their battles with depression and it inspired him to talk more about his. Kevin Hart's a good answer, but it's not correct. I will say with that answer, Omari, that it is a comedian. It is a comedian. But I don't know. I'll probably give you guys more clues because this may be a little bit obscure and hard to figure out. Will Smith? No, that's not correct. Raymond Jacob. Dave Chappelle. That is not correct either. Chris Rock is not right. I'll tell you guys, he's not really known as a stand-up comedian. He's a comedian for other mediums. Let's just put it that way. Let's say he started out and he was huge on television first, and then he became a huge movie star. Let's just put it that way. This guy, and he's actually Canadian. He's from here, which is great. That's the other thing. I may have gave too much away right there. That might tell you guys too much. This dude was living in his car also before he became famous. So he's had his horribleness in his life too, and there's a reason why he's been depressed and stuff. Boom, Omari got it. It's Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was on Letterman or something like that, and he was talking about his depression battles, and DeMar saw it, and it inspired him to speak out and talk about it more. I didn't know this until I did the research yesterday. It was Jim Carrey that inspired DeMar to get involved. All right, last question, and this one's a current one. This is one that you guys may not get right away, and much like the last question, I might have to give you guys little clues. Okay, DeMar, on his birthday on Sunday, DeMar was duped by a celebrity lookalike in LA. He was out celebrating his birthday and he was taking pictures with a celebrity lookalike on the street. And some people were trying to say that he thought that really was the dude and it wasn't a lookalike, that he was fooled by it. But he said, no, I'm not stupid. I knew that wasn't really him. What was the celebrity lookalike? Which celebrity was it that he was taking pictures with? And they thought DJ Khaled. Wow, no, it's not DJ Khaled. It's not fake Clay. Johnny Depp. Tom Duke got it. It's a fake Johnny Depp. Yeah, he was out with he was out on Sunday night, and there's a picture of him on the street with a Johnny Depp impersonator. And they're trying to say that he thinks it's really Johnny Depp, but he didn't. He said afterwards, like, I knew it was, and I was just playing along. And honestly, when you look at the Johnny Depp impersonator that he's with, he doesn't look like Johnny Depp to me. I was like, that's not Johnny Depp. You can tell that doesn't look like Johnny Depp. He just has some hat and the mustache and the glasses and just kind of looks like him enough. Celebrity lookalikes are hilarious. Like some of them, I don't think they look like the person. Like the Drake lookalike, he's weird. He doesn't totally look like Drake and stuff like that. And all this drama with Drake lookalike this summer has been hilarious. It's kind of hilarious, some of this stuff and stuff like that. Let's see. Tom Duke saying DeMar has a great sense of humor and enjoys life. He really does. Like, honestly, I should honestly go back and do Share Love Club for older Raptors. And we should do this on a Saturday. Once we get through maybe some of the current guys, the guys we've gone through most of the roster already, maybe I'm going to do a Saturday Share Love Club for Raptors that we really do love and care a lot about, even though they're not on our team anymore and stuff like that. Joseph Starks is saying he got it first, the Johnny Depp. On my thing, you're bronze, bro. It's Tom, David, and then you. I'm sorry, Joe. You're just behind the other two guys, and they got the Johnny Depp question before. All right, we're just at 45 minutes, stuff like that. Once again, Brooklyn is a dumpster fire. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is absolutely tragic in some ways. Like Nets fan, if Starscream was in here, I would be like, man, why are you even a fan of this team at this point? It's such a dumpster fire there. I do commend, listen, the way I was talking on Sunday about how not to be a dumpster fire in the league, this could start to work towards not being a dumpster fire if Joe Tsai, the owner, the new owner, the Canadian owner of the Brooklyn Nets, decides from the top, and this is what he's trying to do, to change the environment, to get rid of the toxicity, get rid of the problem prima donna guys like Kyrie and Kevin, and build it constructively and like not with toxicity in it. And that this is his taking a stand. He's saying, listen, I stand beside my GM and my head coach, and I see that you're the problem, Kevin. And this could help them pull out of this because that's what they got to do. They got to get rid of the people that are involved on the team that are causing the problems. And it's not going to be easy because it's three major franchise players. The three best players, the biggest contracts on this team are the problems: Kyrie, Kevin, and Ben Simmons. So he's got a whole job ahead of him, Joe Tsai. But he could be the beginning of being a good owner for the Nets and getting them somewhere. Now, this could be such a dumpster fire and so takes so long to fix that he may not get the chance to do it, and they may get mad at him or treat him poorly. The Nets Nation, stuff like stuff like that. Sometimes to get things back on track the right way, it takes longer, especially if it's been so bad for a while and stuff like that. So, and then just one more little thing about DeJounte. What are you doing? You need to stop because you're like really kind of like turning people off, like with your cockiness and your bullying and how you're acting. I don't know if Paulo meant to bump you or do anything in that game like that, but now you look like a psycho. And I totally understand why you're not on the Spurs anymore, because you are not Spurs character. Deep down inside, you weren't this whole time, and Pop was keeping it under wraps. And now you're on the Hawks, and they don't have a Popovich there. They don't have nobody to keep you in line as far as like not causing more problems for the team. And now you're just going crazy. And this is not good. You're a distraction, and you're becoming a knucklehead, which is really interesting to me. DeJounte Murray. Oh, man. All right. One more thing. Here's a really funny little story about yesterday. I love this. Chris really does live in Toronto. Chris Boucher. He is a Toronto man. He gets done at Rico Hines in LA last week, and he comes straight back to Toronto. He goes to OVO Fest on Saturday night. Yesterday, I see Chris on his Instagram riding on the bike trail by Ontario Place on the lake shore with his buddies. They're riding public bikes, like the park and ride bikes that they have all over Toronto, the green and black bikes. And they're riding down. And Chris is like, all Ubers are messed up. There's no Ubers available to take me to OVO Center to practice. So him and his buddies got bikes because he lives down near the CN Tower in one of the big condo high rises. And he wanted to get to OVO. So he went downstairs. He couldn't get an Uber, and he got his buddies. There were two or three of them with him, and they all rented the bikes, the public bikes, and they rode the bike trail to OVO. And that's how he got to practice yesterday. I think that's hilarious. I love that so much. That's ingenuity. That's fun. That's actually a part of his workout, and that must have been fun to ride the bike trail with his buddies, just goofing around. And it would have been weird to be on your bike going the other way down Lakeshore, and you see 6'10", almost 7 foot Chris Boucher on a bike with his long limbs riding by you to go to OVO to practice. Hilarious. I love the grind, Chris. You just added another level to it. It's a beautiful thing. All right, guys. Yeah, those bikes got to be too small for him. I mean, it did look pretty funny. I think they're still on Instagram. So if you want to see what I'm talking about, go look at Chris's Instagram stories. They're hilarious because they're riding the bikes. I'm like, Chris is getting exercise riding bikes down by the lake in Ontario Place. I'm like, that's cool. And then later he posts, it's because we couldn't get an Uber to get to OVO Center. Hilarious stuff. So good. And I was right. Scotty Barnes touchdown in Salt Lake City yesterday. He's doing another camp. They're appearing as a guest and to talk to campers and stuff like that. So, Scotty, you keep going, man. You've got the world looking at you now. They all realize that you have turned into a man magically this summer. You are no longer a baby-faced rookie. you are a full bona fide man that has grown at this point, and they know they're worried about this. There's other fans of other nations that are waking up to the specialness and just how amazing Scotty Barnes is as a prospect in the NBA. They're worried. They're worried. Let's just put it that way. They're worried. All right, guys. Thanks for playing Raptor Freak Trivia with me today. I'll put up the scores, the new scores with how much. David, you killed it today. I'll add it all up and I'll put it up in the comments so you can see how you did. And congratulations, Amari. Thanks for joining us and get some points on the board today. And Tom Duke, good job being solid. Raymond Jacob, always getting in there and getting his points here and there and stuff like that. I hope you all will join me again for Raptor Freak Trivia next Tuesday. But tomorrow, I'll be back 9:30 a.m. live talking the daily Raptors stuff, whatever's happened in the last day, whatever's happened with IG. Maybe we'll see Scotty on Twitch at some point again soon. Maybe not, because he's just too busy traveling and doing camps and working out and putting work in. And he's like, I love seeing him on Twitch, but I also love not seeing him on Twitch because I know he's out there working somewhere. All right, guys, thanks again. Have a great Tuesday and be good to other people. Do the right thing. And, let's make this world a better place. Share love, touch grass, all the great tenements of the Raptor Freak cult. Trust in Masai, fuck Brooklyn, fuck Boston, touch grass, share the love. That's what we say. Have a great day. Let's go, Raptors. We're going to be so good next year. And they're finally putting us at 5. They ranked us number 5 in the East. They say we're a contender. That's what they said on ESPN yesterday. They said the contenders, and they listed us. We were on the list with Boston, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia. That we are a contender this year. They are not suing us with expectations. They think we're going to be 5th. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to get a home court seed for the playoffs next year. We will be a home court team in the playoffs next year. Oh, yeah, we will. Oh, yeah. Let's go.